Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
And we welcome you from downtown Minneapolis. The border battle shifts to Target Field tonight. It's the Brewers and the Twins. It's the first game here at Target Field, Game 3 of the series. The star in Game 1, Jonathan Lucroy. He had 3 hits in that Brewers win. He's back in the lineup tonight behind the plate. Josh Willingham, big home run yesterday to help the Twins to victory. He hit a 3-run shot against Giovanni Gallardo. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Target Field in Minneapolis alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Telly Hughes in just a moment as well. And now we move this series to Target Field. It is a pitcher's ballpark. Marco Estrada on the mound against Ricky Nolasco. But it is a hitter who is in the news rock, and it is Aramis Ramirez. He's finally back after 3 weeks on the shelf.
Yeah, and the Brewers offense, which has been pretty good in the last couple of weeks, get their big bobber back in the middle of that lineup. Ramirez will be at the designated hitter spot today, probably tomorrow, and Ron Rennick is hoping that Ramirez is going to be able to play third base in Pittsburgh. But remember the start that Ramirez was able to get off to this season. In April, he was the guy that really keyed the Brewers offense, playing very solid defensively. One of the few times in his career that he got off to a great start. A little bit of a slow May, pulled that hamstring, but the Brewers really doing a nice job holding serve. 1 game over 500 without him in the lineup. He's back, and the offense should benefit from it.
Well, the Brewers won 20 games in the first month. Ramirez, of course, was a big part of that. He was hoping to miss just 2 weeks on the DL with the hamstring injury. Ended up being 3 weeks and a day. Brewers are 10 games over with Ramirez in the lineup, and that is a bat they are glad to have back. Hitting 5th tonight, although the Brewers did hold serve 1 game over, they're glad to have the muscle back in their order. Carlos Gomez will hit cleanup tonight. He's the former Twin, and he'll chat with Telly when we continue. First Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Brewers and Twins have crossed the border to continue their 4-game home-and-home series in the Twin Cities after splitting the first 2 in Milwaukee. Welcome back to Target Field. I am Telly Hughes. A quick 2-day stop here in Minnesota will also mark the return of Carlos Gomez, returning to a place he donned a Twins uniform for 2 seasons. While Carlos enjoys coming back to where he got his big league break, he'd like even more to return on July 15th for this year's All-Star game. Carlos is on the right track, ranking in the top 4 among National League outfielders in average and home runs, while continuing to sizzle in the cleanup spot he took over 11 games ago. Gomez is making a strong push to make his 2nd straight All-Star appearance, and it would be even extra special if it's here in Minnesota.
It means a lot. It's fun and it's funny because, you know, playing in New York and then come here when I have a lot of fans to still, like I'm saying, like me and love me and give it the opportunity to see me like an all-star. You know, it's really fun.
Coming up, the border battle shifts to Twins territory as the Brewers look to pick up their 2nd win of the series. First pitch is on deck, next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Border battle between the Brewers and Twins is in full swing. Monday, the Brewers offense came out swinging and took advantage of Minnesota's misfortunes. Last night, the Twins benefited from the long ball and Milwaukee's inability to convert on opportunities. Tonight, the series shifts to the home of the Midsummer Classic, where Brewers All-Star hopefuls look to prove they belong here in July. The border battle continues right now on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And good evening and welcome. The Brewers Twins series on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Marshfield Clinic. Just about ready for baseball, and it is a beautiful night here in Minneapolis, 79 degrees. And we're almost ready for tonight's first pitch. Just a quick 2-game series. The Brewers start a road trip that'll take them from Minnesota to Pittsburgh and then to New York to play the Mets key stretch and a key month with a lot of road games in the month of June. Ron Renicki's batting order is brought to you by Associated Bank. Gene Segura leads off, Ryan Braun, then Jonathan Lucroy. Middle of the order is Carlos Gomez. Aramis Ramirez returning from the disabled list. He's the DH tonight. Ricky Weeks is in there against the right-handed starter. He bats sixth. And the bottom of the order, Mark Reynolds, Lyle Overbay, and Logan Schaefer. Schaefer getting the start for Chris Davis in left field. And there is Ricky Nolasco. And Rocky was the Twins' opening day starter. Had a great run last year. Late in the season, was traded from the Marlins to the Dodgers, and now the first of 4 years with the Minnesota Twins.
He just signed that 4-year contract. He's had a rough time of it, but he's been much better here at Target Field this year. You see that big earned run average, but most of that damage coming away from home. 4th start here at Target Field and a .321 earned run average, and he's making his 9th career start against the Brewers.
He has not pitched well against Milwaukee throughout his career, an ERA over 7.5. Most of that time as a Marlin, a Florida Marlin, then a Miami Marlin. Segura ready to lead off. Brewers have their lineup back intact, and it will remain with the top 4 in place. A lot of discussion about lineup continuity over the last couple of weeks, but Ramirez re-enters the starting lineup, hitting 5th as Segura swings away at the first pitch. And it is Dozier to make the play, and that's how we start the night tonight. And Rock, let's check the Menards Twins defense.
No, not too many changes over the course of the last few days against the Twins. Only Kurt Suzuki's been in and out of the lineup. You got Willingham, Santana, and Arcia from left to right. Plouffe, Escobar, Dozier, and Joe Mauer from third to first. And as you mentioned, Ricky Nolasco, the veteran, 9th season behind, or he's on the mound today.
There you see Andy Fletcher. He'll call the balls and strikes. Same 4-man umpiring crew traveling with these two teams from Milwaukee. Chris Segal, Mike McClinsky, Mark Wegner on the bases as Ryan Braun steps in, batting second again tonight. He hit third yesterday in the absence of Lucroy. But this lineup churning right along. The Brewers did lose yesterday. They have split this series 1 apiece with 2 more to play. Brewers lost 6-4. They had 4 runs on 8 hits yesterday. The winner yesterday was Samuel Deduno. He beat Giovanni Gallardo. Tough night for Gallardo, one of his worst starts of the season, giving up 6 earned runs in 5 innings. And a cut and a miss, and Braun is out quickly. Nolasco takes care of him on 3 pitches, and 2 up and 2 down in the first.
And Nolasco used to be a hard thrower, not so much anymore. 88 to 90 miles an hour. He might get it up there at about 92, but typically a guy that's going to be establishing slider and curveball. He's going to throw his off-speed pitch quite a bit tonight. So gets Ryan Braun on a fastball.
Here's Jonathan Lucroy now. Lucroy getting a day off yesterday. Not by his own request, but Renicki looking ahead at this long road trip. You certainly want Lucroy in the lineup as much as you can get him in there. And a day off. He had played 20 consecutive games until the day off yesterday. He did get a pinch hit at bat and grounded out, so still played in the game, but a night off from behind the plate. He's also been playing a little first base. We'll see how that changes now that Ramirez is back. Ramos is not going to be able to play every single day, especially in the beginning here, as he's just returning from the disabled list. So you'll still see a lot of Reynolds and a lot of Overbay. Makes it easy over this 2-game stretch because you can utilize the designated hitter in an American League ballpark.
And talking to Ron Renicki before the ball game, he says that Ramirez's hamstring feels 100%. It doesn't feel like there's going to be much of an issue. It's just perhaps fatigue getting back into everyday routine, trying to get back in that lineup. So you figure back-to-back days as the DH, and then the hope is that he's going to be able to play third base in Pittsburgh.
No, Ramos has not hit anywhere else but 4th in his Brewers career, and his perfectly fine with hitting behind Gomez here tonight, hitting 5th. He's been watching the Brewers swing the bats well as Lucroy takes a ball down and away, and the count goes full 3-2 to the Brewer catcher. Lucroy comes in batting .324. He's 4th in the league in that category. He leads all major league catchers in batting average, and he's hitting .379 on the road, the best batting average on the road in the National League. Pops this one up. Dozier's under it. And Nolasco with a 1-2-3 first inning with a strikeout. Now the Twins coming up. It'll be Marco Estrada on the mound for the Brew Crew when we continue. Off and running here, and the Brewers going in order in the first. 1-2-3 inning for Nolasco. There's Ron Gardenhire. His Twins coming in with a record of 27-29, 2 games under, competing in the American League Central. His Associated Bank batting order: Santana leads off once again. He's got Dozier batting second with Joe Mauer hitting third. Middle of the order is Josh Willingham, Oswaldo Arcia, Trevor Plouffe. And then the bottom 3, Kurt Suzuki catching with the other catcher, the backup catcher, Josmiel Pinto, the designated hitter. And then Escobar rounds it out. And that's the lineup that will face Marco Estrada, trying to get the Brewers back in the win column tonight.
Yeah, Marco's won 3 of his last 4 starts, and 2 in a row. He beat the Cubs his last time out. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. And 0-2. He's really struggled against the Twins in his career. 5 games, 3 of them starts. 0-2 with an earned run average over 6.
Here's Danny Santana stepping in as the leadoff hitter. He was in that spot last night, was 1 out of 4. Last night the Twins got 2 big homers. Josh Willingham hit a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning that snapped a 1-1 tie. And then Brian Dozier had a 2-run home run, his 12th of the season. The Brewers win on Monday snapped a 5-game Twins winning streak against Milwaukee. But the Twins have still dominated this series over recent months. Deep right center, and there is Gomez, and that is why this is a great park for Marco Estrada as you see the Menards Brewers defense.
The guy gives up a lot of home runs, a fly ball pitcher, and a big power alleys here. You check out the Brewers Menards defense. Logan Schaefer gets a start out in left field. He got Nolasco on the mound for the Twins, who specializes in breaking pitches and sliders, so you get a left-handed batter in the lineup. You have Jonathan Lucroy back behind home plate, and the big stick as the designated hitter back in the lineup, Aramis Ramirez. So the Brewers with only 4 players on their bench tonight.
Here's Brian Dozier. It's had a hot series. 5 hits already in the first 2 games, including that 2-run home run yesterday. This guy is going along at an all-star caliber right now. A former shortstop converted to second base, and he has found a home, and he has become not only an excellent defensive second baseman, he's a plus defender out there, but one of the top hitting second baseman and run producing second baseman in the American League. And he hammers that one to left field. Schaefer going back. That's over his head. One hop off the wall. Schaefer's got a good arm. The throw to second is late. And it's a double for Dozier.
He likes that baseball up in the strike zone. Tomahawk that high heater. And Marco relies on the high fastball. He likes to throw the changeup down in the strike zone. Look at that. That was a letter high fastball. Not a lot on it. He doesn't throw hard, does Marco. And line drives it one hop off the wall and left for a one out double. Boy, Dozier red hot.
Dozier had a great quote in the Star Tribune today talking about his hitting approach. He said it's not how you hit the breaking ball in the big leagues. It's how you do not miss a fastball, a good fastball in the big leagues. And he has been right on every fastball the Brewers have thrown in this series.
Yeah, hit a fastball out of the ballpark on Gallardo in yesterday's game, a 2-1 fastball for a 2-run home run. And he's right. I mean, and Marco has got to be careful with a high fastball no matter who's up there. He doesn't throw hard enough to get away with it if he doesn't have the changeup working for him. One of the reasons why he's given up so many home runs.
Marco Estrada at this point giving up 17 home runs. But Pitchers Park here at Target Field, even though it's warm tonight, the ball will be traveling better. Runner takes off, throw to third in time. Dozier is out. With Joe Mauer at the plate, Dozier is cut down at third.
He's just staying there. I think Ron Gardenhire might go out there and have a chat with the third base umpire, Mark Wegner. Gardenhire just standing in the dugout by the stairs waiting for his replay crew. Normally managers are going to go out there right away. Marco is on the mound, but Joe Mauer not in the batter's box.
And it looks like Gardenhire is coming out for a potential challenge here. That is the crew chief, Mark Wegner, who made that call.
Took him an awfully long time to decide whether he was going to go out. I think he has already determined that he wants a review.
There's Paul Molitor on the phone to the clubhouse, and we'll give you another look here. And the tag, and it's close. Looked like he might have gotten a hand in there, but is it enough to overturn this call?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. You know, Ron Gardenhire looking in the dugout, determining whether he wants to go ahead and challenge it. That looks like bang bang. I guess if you're a Twins fan, you say he's safe. If you're watching in Wisconsin, he's out.
Well, and they will go to a challenge. So the crew chief will put the headset on to New York. This will be the best look at it here, courtesy of Phantom Cam. And
well, how do you know? I mean, at what point does the wrist part of the glove touch the arm? It doesn't have to be the ball touching the arm. You got the ball in the glove, and any part of the arm for Reynolds touches the hand, he's out.
Once they turn it over to New York for a challenge, as there are regular umpires who are in the circuit watching these replays, it's out of the hands of the field umpires at the venue. So Mark Wegner will just sit and wait. He's joined by home plate umpire Andy Fletcher, and they will wait on the decision from New York. And this looks like the most definitive angle. Can you tell when contact was made? I guess that's the biggest decision.
Right, the back of the wrist and the strap that goes over the wrist is what touches Dozier as he slides into third base. Well, who knows what they're going to call on that? I mean, that's about as close as it gets. We'll see.
Could be a big call because it'll be a runner at third and one out, and Mauer at the plate if he's safe. Twins fans have already made up their mind. They've seen the replays up above on the Jumbotron, and they feel like their man is safe.
This is one of the longest reviews we've had. Number one, because it took Ron Gardenhire forever to get out of the dugout.
If a manager issues a challenge and is successful, he gets one more. And here comes the decision, and safe is the call. So Dozier was right. He goes back to third, and Gardenhire wins the challenge.
And it's amazing that you know they have different angles. They have different cameras than we have afforded to us, and obviously they saw something we didn't. Now where is contact made on Dozier? And they apparently saw enough in New York to overturn it. Boy, how close can it get? And it doesn't get any closer than that.
All right, so a runner at third. Estrada will go back into the windup here. Brewers bring their infield in against Mauer, and the pitch is swung on out to right. Braun, he's got a good arm, and Dozier started early, and we'll have to stay put. Dozier, I'm not sure why.
It's a mistake. He should have gone. I mean, no question, you got to go on that.
So he's still at third base. Braun does have a great arm. Throw is up the line.
Change up from Estrada. He had Mauer out in front. I mean, I would have thought, you know, Dozier runs pretty well. I mean, not a base burner, but you got to go on that with one out. And now it's going to take a base hit to score him.
And it'll be Josh Willingham now with two away. Willingham has come back from the disabled list from that hand injury and has swung the bat well. He was injured in early April. Got hit on the hand on a pitched ball. Knocked him out for about 6 weeks. Pops this one up a mile high with the shift on. Ricky Weeks is back there. Gomez will call him off, and Estrada gets through the first inning, stranding a runner at third base. Scoreless as we head to the second. The top of the second, this Brewers Twins series on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Marshfield Clinic. Marco Estrada getting through the first. Twins strand a runner in scoring position. Had a challenge and a call overturned, but it didn't hurt him. So it'll be Gomez to start it in the second. Gomez, Ramirez, and Ricky Weeks. Carlos is hoping to make a return trip to the All-Star game. Made his All-Star debut last year at Citi Field in New York, and is hoping to return here to Target Field for the Midsummer Classic. That would be a nice little ribbon for Gomez, who came up with the Mets and then made his first All-Star game in the home of the Mets, Citi Field, even though he didn't play in that venue. And the same here in Minnesota.
You would think with the way the Brewers have been playing, got a 5-game lead in the Central Division, you would think they'd be well represented in the All-Star game. Carlos, one of those guys. Got some pitchers that are probably going to go if they continue to do what they've been doing.
Now the Cardinals lost yesterday. Brewers maintain their 5-game lead in the division after a 5-3 homestand. Brewers won a series from the Orioles, then the Cubs, and then split the 2 games with the Twins, and now starting a road trip. It'll be an 8-game, 9-day road trip for Milwaukee, and a stretch of games for the Brewers. Well, they'll see 15 out of 18 games away from Miller Park. Gomez having a great year. Top 5 in extra base hits, slugging, total bases. He's in the top 5 in OPS as well. 7th in home runs. 7th in the league in doubles and runs scored, and he's 8th in the league in batting average.
And certainly the inspirational leader of this ball club, and that's why it's so important to have him in the lineup every day. Good to have him back, though. Another big bat in that lineup for the Brewers.
Now this Brewers batting order is pretty formidable right now. A lot of power in the lineup. Gomez fouls that one right off his ankle. Looked like it caught him right under that padding.
Yeah, missed the pad. That was hurt.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Gomez. And a swing and a miss. Got him with a breaking ball. That's Nolasco's bread and butter.
Man, he's got 2 different breaking pitches. A slider, which is what that was, and then he's got the curveball. Talking to Johnny Nair around the batting cage, he'll throw a splitter as well. That's a good pitch off the outside corner with 2 strikes. Johnny Nair telling me that it's going to be important for the Brewers to make Nolasco get his pitches up in the strike zone early in the count.
Here's Aramis Ramirez, not wasting any time in his return. And a 6-3 ground out. 2 up and 2 down for Nolasco. Ramirez did get a couple of starts in the minor leagues on a rehab in Appleton for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Got 6 at-bats, had a couple of hits. So 2 quick ones. Here's Ricky Weeks. Ricky in the starting lineup tonight with a right-handed starter on the mound. Typically has been starting only when lefties are up, but Brewers are facing a long stretch of right-handed mound opponents right now, and Renicky does not want Weeks to sit for so long like he did earlier in this season when he sat for 12 consecutive days.
And he picked a pretty good right-hander to have Ricky face. He's 10 for 21 with 2 home runs off of Nolasco. Look at that batting average, almost 500.
And a bouncing ball fair down the line. Weeks around first, and he'll try it. Here comes the throw. It's off the mark, and it's a double for Ricky Weeks.
Well, now he is hitting 500, 11 for 22. Well, that's why Ron Renicky put him in the lineup. He's had good success against his right-hander. You really got to tip your hat to Ron Renicky. The decisions that he's been able to make, all season long, giving guys some playing time, giving them opportunities, putting them in positions to succeed, and you put Ricky in there and he delivers right away.
And that second base platoon with Jeanette and Weeks has really paid off offensively. Jeanette the better defensive player, but Ricky Weeks brings some pop to the lineup as well. Here's Mark Reynolds, speaking of pop. 2 outs, runner at second. And a wave and a miss and a breaking ball from Nolasco. Reynolds has a little bit of history against Nolasco. Has 15 lifetime at-bats against him. Has 2 hits in those 15 at-bats. Nolasco struck him out 10 times in his career. Pulls that one. That is foul. Not by much. And that is in front of the base umpire. That is not a reviewable play.
Well, it looked like it hit the line beyond the third baseline, but hey, Mark Wegner right on it. You get a pretty good look here. Yep, looked like it hooked foul.
Third base umpiring position is supposed to be the position of leisure after you call home plate. Not so far today for Mark Wegner, the crew chief. He's up for it, though.
Supposed to be the rest day, right? You're over at third base. You don't expect a whole lot of action. You never know.
Well, he's already missed one. But you can't hardly fault him for that. That was about as close as it gets. And only the great technology that we have these days, you're able to see the hand get in there of Dozier before the tag. Reynolds in the gap, right center. Here comes Weeks. He'll score. Reynolds on his way to second. And an RBI double. The Brewers strike with 2 outs. Back-to-back doubles, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, got a fastball up out over the plate, and Reynolds doing a nice job waiting back and driving it into the gap in right center. Try and pull that one. It's an easy out. Looked like a cut fastball from Nolasco, and Mark able to stay right on it and driving the first run of the game. So back-to-back doubles with 2 outs. Brewers on the board first.
And a lot of Brewers fans making their voices heard at Target Field. Double number 4 for Reynolds to go along with his 13 homers. And here is Lyle Overbay now. Overbay getting the start at first base with Reynolds over at third. Ramirez the DH. Might see same kind of lineup tomorrow. Back in the National League style on Friday night in Pittsburgh.
Head back to real baseball again. 2-day break, get the DH.
Now the Brewers have done well against their American League opponents this year. They won a series from the Yankees. They took 2 out of 3 from the Orioles. Swept the Boston Red Sox on the road at Fenway Park.
Yeah, 8-3 in interleague play. One of their best, starts to an interleague season in their history. All started back in '97.
Got Reynolds at second. Overbay at the plate. Down in the count. A ball and 2 strikes. And that one misses low. 2-2 on Overbay. He's had good numbers with runners in scoring position this year. Hitting about 100 points better with a runner at second and or third this season. Here's a 2-2. And down he goes. Fastball, a high fastball gets him. But Mark Reynolds drives in the first run of the game. The Brewers lead it 1-0.
the Brewers have a 1-0 lead over the Twins. And Marco Estrada has won his last couple of starts, but he has given up a lot of home runs. And Ron Renicky said there wasn't too much they tried to tweak in his bullpen sessions leading up to this start, but he said that Marco, over his time managing him, has gone through spurts where he has had a couple of struggle outings, but he said that he's always found a way to get back on track. And BA and Rock, you guys mentioned it. There's no better place to get back on track than here at Target Field, a big ballpark and a place where Marco can give up those fly balls and then don't have to worry about it going over the fence.
Yeah, keep these hitters, gap to gap, and you're pretty good. But they get them down the lines, they will fly out of here. But Marco's effective with the high fastball. As long as he gets ahead in the count, it's a good 2-strike high fastball. But it's got to work hand in hand with a good changeup. He's had a struggle with his changeup his last few starts.
Oswaldo Arcia leads it off for Minnesota. Arcia, Plouffe, and Suzuki due up for Gardenhire's Twins. 1-0. The Brewers lead it on a 2-out RBI double by Reynolds. Shift is on against Arcia, expecting him to pull. Now the Brewers do score a lot of runs for Marco Estrada. I think it goes hand in hand with how he pitches. He does give up some runs. He'll give up some home runs, but he does work fast. He throws a lot of strikes. Fielders are typically engaged when Marco Estrada is on the mound. And there's the high fastball you're talking of. A strikeout to Arcia to start the second inning.
Yep, a 2-strike fastball up out of the strike zone. And once again, Marco having a tough time with the changeup, but here's a 2-strike heater up and in, and able to get Arcia. Yeah, the Brewers in Marco's 5 wins have scored 36 runs. That's pretty good.
As wins against the Phillies, the Cubs, that was in April. And then in the month of May, he beat the Pirates. He won on the road in Miami and then beat the Cubs again at Miller Park on the last homestand. His first start in the month of June. Trevor Plouffe takes a strike. Best run support of the 5-man starting rotation. Estrada at the top, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the 2 guys who work the fastest are at the top of that list, get the most run support. I know it's not an easy correlation, but I think there's just a better vibe when a guy like Loesch or Estrada is on the mound and the game is crisp. Plouffe sends one high in the air to center, and Gomez for out number 2. Hey, a reminder, Saturday, it's a full day of MLB action. It begins with the Indians taking on the Rangers on Fox Sports 1. Then Baseball Night in America on Fox. David Ortiz and the Red Sox take on Miguel Cabrera and the Detroit Tigers. Our MLB doubleheader begins Saturday, 2 p.m. Central on FS1, and then continues at 6 Central only on Fox.
And Tigers leaking oil a little bit. They've lost 3 straight, 7 of 10.
Ever since they had RoboCop throughout the first pitch, things have not gone well for the Tigers. Detroit leads this Central Division. Minnesota is 5 games back. They're all stacked within 5 games in the AL Central as we hit the early stages of June. Kurt Suzuki, a pop-up, foul grounds, and Overbay is there for the out. 3 up and 3 down. Nice and tidy from Marco Estrada. third inning. There is the All-Star logo. Be the third time they've held the Midsummer Classic here in Minneapolis. First time at Target Field. Check our Feltco All-Star voting update. There are 8 players on the ballot this season for the Brewers. You can vote at Brewers.com. You can vote up to 25 times per email account. We encourage you to max out on all efforts. Lucroy now at third among National League catchers. You see Ramirez dropped a spot to third. Braun dropped down to 6th from third. Segura and Gomez in the top 5 as well. Lucroy is the guy right now that not only has a chance to make his first All-Star team, but certainly will have a great shot to get some playing time if he does make it. I think Yadier Molina is going to be the fan vote. He always is. He's out to a huge lead to start it, but National League managers are starting to recognize the talents of Lucroy, especially if he keeps hitting.
Yes, that's not the offense. I mean, defense has been impeccable this year. He and Maldonado have done a superb job getting this Brewers pitching staff through games. Starters, relievers, blocking pitches. He is starting to come into his own.
Brewers at the bottom of their batting order. Logan Schaefer hitting 9th. And Schaefer goes, and the pitch gets away, and they're calling him out. I think the pitch ball hit him, but the swing counts first, and then the ball is dead, and that means Schaefer is a strikeout victim.
Well done going through the rules all in one.
That was a
sentence.
quick one.
That was great. Check swing, hits him in the foot, makes it a dead ball and a strike. And Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, right on it. Nope, you're out, Logan. 4th strikeout already. First time through the batting order for Nolasco.
And back to the top now in Segura. He's got a good breaking ball going today, Nolasco. The Twins' opening day starter this year. Segura swung at the first pitch his first time up. He popped up to second.
Not a hard thrower like he used to be when he first came up. Nolasco used to be in the mid-90s with that good breaking pitch. Now that's just about what you're going to get. 89. They touch 90 once in a while, but there's 2 breaking pitches, and every now and again he'll throw up a split-fingered fastball.
Suzuki sets up away, and that's a shot back up the middle right there as Dozier had him well positioned, and Segura is retired. 2 up and 2 down.
Hey, the action heats up at Miller Park Friday, June 13th through Sunday the 15th when the Brew Crew squares off against Brandon Phillips and the Cincinnati Reds in a weekend showdown of NL Central foes. Reserve your seats today at 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com. What's that? The only 3 home games in what, 2.5 weeks?
Yep. That long stretch. Other than those 3 home games, the Brewers will not return to Miller Park until June 23rd. It's going to be a key stretch. Brewers have been good on the road thus far. They played very good competition on the road thus far. Milwaukee starts play today with a road record of 16-11. Slow roller by Braun, coming in Escobar, and he just gets him. And that will retire the side. So Nolasco, 3 up and 3 down, picks up his 4th strikeout. Twins are coming up. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. And by Gerhard's, the kitchen and bath store. Find inspiration for your home, remodel, or new construction project at Gerhard's. Just a beautiful night for a lot of things here in the Twin Cities, especially for a ball game. Downtown Minneapolis. It is a beautiful day for baseball. Can't say that all the time here.
Yeah, was that sign up in April?
They just put that up.
A little bit freehold here in April.
Yeah, it's been a little bit raw, but not tonight. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Got a good crowd on hand to see it. Beautiful ballpark. Brewers up 1-0, getting a run in the second inning on a Mark Reynolds RBI double. And it's Josmiel Pinto leading off for Minnesota. 8-9-1 due up against Estrada. Marco has given up one hit. That was a double to Brian Dozier. Stranded him at third base in that first inning.
Yeah, very fortunate to strand him at third base. Dozier was there with one out. Maurer hit a routine fly ball to right, and for some reason Dozier decided not to head toward home plate. Should have probably been a run for the Twins.
There's a swing and a miss, and Estrada strikes out Pinto. Well, a whole lot of designated hitters in the American League hitting 8th these days, but Pinto is today, and Estrada makes work of him.
Great location right on the inside corner, and maybe Marco is starting to get better command of that fastball here tonight, and that's been an issue for him.
Second strikeout for Estrada, and it'll be the switch hitting shortstop Eduardo Escobar now. He's hacking away at the first pitch.
Yeah, about 3 starts ago, Marco was tweaking his delivery down in the bullpen between starts, and oddly enough, and when you watch Marco, there's nobody with a more deliberate windup than Estrada. He felt as though he was rushing his delivery. That's hard to believe, but
yeah.
he started to slow it down a little bit in hopes that it's going to help his command and his changeup, more importantly.
Little half swing bouncer over to Reynolds. And Escobar is out. Out number 2. Didn't mean to do it. Estrada has 2 up and 2 down. 7 in a row retired by Marco after that double by Dozier.
Trying to come inside once again and does a good job of it. And a check swing out. Hitters hate that. Pitchers love it.
Top of the order here is Danny Santana. And Estrada starts him with a strike, a changeup. Marco has very fluid mechanics. He talks about, especially from the windup, as if he's pitching out of a phone booth. He wants to keep everything in line, in balance. That's a good analogy, though, and something you're visual as you're on the mound trying to think about.
Can't lean too much if you're in a phone booth, right? You got to stand pretty much straight up, stand tall, get on top of your pitches.
Problem is, there's a whole generation of fans who are asking right now, "Hey, Mom, what's a phone booth?"
That's right.
When's the last phone booth you spotted around the big league circuit?
Yeah. That's true. They don't have them on the corners anymore.
Payphone?
Yeah.
You used to have to actually pay for a phone call. No balls, 2 strikes on Santana. You still pay for a phone call. You pay for it in different ways.
Right. And it's not 25 cents either. But we get the point. That's the thing.
Phone booth.
Us older guys, long in the tooth.
I'm just trying to make you feel comfortable. A 1-2 and a pop up. Had him out in front. Mark Reynolds in foul grounds. And another good inning for Marco Estrada. Estrada's retired 9 in a row. 1-0 Brewers. Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Marshfield Clinic. On our way to the top of the 4th inning. The Crew got a run in the 2nd, making the Brewers fans who have made the trek here to Minneapolis happy to start this one. There's a lot of Brewers fans in the ballpark tonight. Always is. Both teams travel well to their respective venues when we have this interleague series. Jonathan Lucroy will lead off for the Crew. Lucroy, Gomez, and Ramirez against Ricky Nolasco. Lucroy had 3 hits against the Twins on Monday, including a home run. Minnesota has won 11 of the last 15 games in this interleague series.
Yeah, they've dominated the Brewers.
As Lucroy turns on one, is it going to stay fair? That ball is hooking foul. Hit it a ton, but just out ahead of it.
Yeah, left a curveball middle in and knocked it out of here. Check out Lucroy going to the opposite field on Anthony Swarzak. Powerball home run count number 3 for Luke. 3rd hit of the game for Lucroy.
And for his efforts, he got a day off. What do you got to do to get in the lineup, Skipper? Back in there tonight. And Lucroy chases a breaking ball. Lucroy saying he fouled it into the dirt. Home plate umpire Andy Fletcher is saying the pitch was caught. And now Renicky wants an explanation. We'll have to watch it here to see if it hit the dirt, which it did.
It did hit the dirt. And if it hit the bat, it's a foul ball.
Let's take a listen.
It's a double click. I don't know if that was the dirt in the glove or what it was, but if nothing else, I think Ron Renicki's asking the home plate umpire to ask for help. Ask the guy at first base whether it bounced in the dirt.
And you can see Renicki saying that's what I have a problem with, you not asking. Home plate umpires in spots like that, they're using their ears as much as their eyes. I mean, that's tough to see a foul ball, but you can hear it. I'm not sure if you could clearly hear it. A lot of the personnel on the Brewers bench were calling right away there was a foul ball, and Renicki's turning around. He's in danger of getting tossed.
Well, Andy Fletcher is coming back after him. Ron Renicki was on his way out, and then Andy Fletcher started barking at him. You know, once a guy starts walking back to the dugout, I mean, umpires really shouldn't, start snapping back, but they do. Now, if they called a foul tip and the ball hit the dirt, Lucroy should still be at the plate. Now, I'm not sure if they called a foul tip or not.
Yeah, obviously Fletcher is saying that he did not tip it. He just missed it, and therefore it didn't matter that it hit the dirt. So it'll be 1 out for Gomez now. That is the 5th strikeout for Ricky Nolasco at this point. He is racking up a bunch of Ks early against the free swinging Brewers. Gomez out to Dozier, breaks his bat, and out number 2.
And most of the pitches that the Brewers are swinging at, that slider, are not strikes. They're all off the outside corner, down in the strike zone, and that's what Johnny Nair and the Brewers hitting coach was talking about before the game. If we make him throw strikes with it, and we make him get it up in the strike zone, we're going to be able to score some runs. If we swing at pitches like that, it might be a long night. And so far, the Brewers offense has not been able to lay off that pitch.
And Ramirez chases a breaking ball. Gomez is 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out. Ramirez has seen 2 pitches. He swung at both of them in his return. Ramos missing 3 weeks with a hamstring injury. He got off to a very fast start. He carried the Brewers through the first 3 weeks of April. Big part of the 20-win month of April for Milwaukee. Cooled off a little bit right before he went on the disabled list. Ramirez playing in just his 35th game of the season.
And Brewers doing a real good job, you know, winning games without Ramirez in the middle of that lineup, and just having him in there makes a big difference.
And a Ramos, little fly ball to center field, and that's going to be caught by Santana. 2 in the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Nolasco. 1-0 Crew. Estrada back at it. The Twins as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. And our Carsoup.com trivia question tonight. Who are the 3 players that have played at least 200 games with both the Brewers and the Twins? So 3 on the all-time list who have spent time in Minnesota and Milwaukee. Stew on that one for a little bit. Brian Dozier will lead off for the Twins. I miscounted going into the last break with Estrada. He's retired 8 straight, not 9 in a row. Once I start going over to this, the second hand, you have to get both the hands involved. That's when the mistakes happen.
I don't think you have to correct that. I forgot what you said anyway.
Just want to give Marco his due. Dozier had the last hit. And the only hit. He doubled in the first inning. He knocked one over the head of Schaefer, who is playing about 3 steps closer to the wall this time around. See that worn out patch right in front of Schaefer. That's where he was playing the first time. Respecting the power of Dozier.
He's not a big guy either. I mean, he's strong. He's put together well, but a guy that packs a big punch in that lineup. Number 2 hitters, not too many lead their team in homers.
And that's ball 4. So Estrada issues his first walk. And the only base runner of the night for the Twins is Brian Dozier. He's reached twice. It's a leadoff walk in the 4th. Joe Mauer. We saw him hit second in Milwaukee on Monday.
It used to be a day where when Joe Mauer came to the plate in Minnesota, the crowd would go crazy. Pretty quiet.
And he's actually gotten booed here in his hometown. He's from St. Paul. And you've heard of a hometown discount. In Mauer's case, it was more like a hometown premium.
Big time premium. Big contract.
It's a contract that'll take him through the 2018 season. 8-year deal. I had seen a couple of games where Mauer was booed here at Target Field, his home ballpark. I was talking to Dick Bramer, the television voice of the Twins, and he quickly reminded me that Harmon Killebrew got booed as well. And I thought maybe they were just saying brew as in Killebrew, but that wasn't the case.
I think they were. I think Dick's just trying to stick up for Joe.
You can appreciate that. Dozier goes, and the pitch is fouled off.
Now we saw Mauer fly out to right field with a man at third base and one out. Mauer with runners in scoring position under 170 this year. Very unusual for a guy that doesn't strike out a whole lot.
And has been one of the great career batting average leaders with runners in scoring position. Among active players, Joe Mauer is at the top of the list in career batting average, .321, and has been on the decline.
He's had injuries, he's had physical problems, and concussions. An awfully big contract. You talked about it. I mean, the Twins were pretty much in a no-win situation. They had to sign to a big deal. Back in those days, he was one of the best, but never really a big run producer. Never drove in 100 runs or scored 100 runs, and you get a contract like that. Normally, guys that provide big offense for you get contracts like that, not Joe Mauer.
No balls, 2 strikes. 1-2 now. There was a time here in Minnesota when the Twins had one of the great 1-2 combos in all of baseball, the Mauer-Morneau era. Mauer, a 3-time batting champion. He won an MVP in 09. Morneau was an MVP winner. Things changed a lot when this ballpark opened. One year, Mauer, the year he won the MVP, he hit 28 homers. But that was at the Metrodome.
Yeah.
28 home runs. He drove in 96. He also led all of baseball in batting average that year at .365. And the next year, the long deal began. He signed to an 8-year contract following that great 2010 season. 8-year, $184 million.
That's a lot of money for a team like the Twins, and I think because of that, they're kind of handcuffed getting other players. Signing free agents. I mean, there is not a endless supply of money in the Midwest.
Full count to Mauer. And another check on Dozier.
And Marco had Mauer 0-2 in the count. And trying to make the perfect pitch. Mauer not biting on pitches out of the strike zone. Let's see if Dozier takes off here. He's already tried to steal once in this at bat.
Dozier has 13 steals. Had one earlier tonight. That was the call that was overturned. There he goes. And Mauer bounces to first. Overbay with a nice play on a tough hop. And Mauer is retired, but Dozier ends up at second base. It was not an easy hop for Overbay to handle there. Our AT&T Uverse Rewind. Josh Willingham had the big hit yesterday off Gallardo, a 3-run home run. It was tied at 1 at the time. Willingham went deep in the 3rd inning, and the Twins never looked back.
And for a patient hitter, he went after the first pitch and knocked it out of the ballpark on Yo. Ambushing a slider, a hanger.
He's got a runner at second and a pickoff play, and Weeks Has to pull one down to keep that one from center field. The Brewers lead 1-0. They scored in the second on a Mark Reynolds 2-out double. Weeks had a 2-out double to reach, and Reynolds drove him in. Estrada trying to keep it that way.
Look how far off the first baseline Lyle Overbay is. I mean, that's about as far off of the bag as you can get and still get there on a ground ball. The further off the line you get, the more shallow you have to play in the infield. I mean, there's no way you can be that far off the line and be back on the grass. I mean, no way you can get back to first base on a ground ball. You will not see a first baseman any further off the bag than that.
And if there is a ground ball, Overbay will be sprinting over there like his hair's on fire. Willingham does not run well. Got a little extra time. Marco spending a lot of time with Dozier at first and now at second. Dozier stole third base in the first inning.
And concentrating a little bit too much on the base runner. He's falling behind a power hitter 2-0.
Willingham playing in just his 16th game after missing a lot of time with a hand injury, and there's the strike.
Changeup, 2-0. He's got the changeup back. That's why Willingham didn't swing at it.
A 2-1 pitch, and Willingham lines it to left. Base hit. Schaefer coming up with it. They're going to hold Dozier. Throw comes all the way in.
Good thing, huh? How about that throw?
Schaefer's got a great arm. Very accurate. And Joe Vavra, the third base coach, wisely holds Dozier at third base. So it's first and third for the Twins with one away.
Yeah, hit too hard. One hop right to Logan Schaefer, who came in and got off a perfect throw. Had the baseball well before Dozier was at third base, but look at his throw. That would have been an easy out at home plate. And so Marco has a chance to get out of this inning without runs scoring, get a ground ball, turn a double play. Good throw by Schaefer there.
One gone, runners at the corners. And here is Oswaldo Arcia. Brewers looking for a ground ball to turn two and get him out of the inning. Arcia, a fly ball hitter and a fly ball pitcher in Estrada. Arcia has only bounced into one double play this season. Estrada struck him out in the second. Oswaldo's younger brother Orlando is in the Brewers organization in Single A Brevard County. He's a prospect middle infielder. They hail from Venezuela. Popped him up, and this one will head into the seats. Not a lot of foul territory here at Target Field. Those are outs in a lot of ballparks.
That's the only thing that really makes it a pretty good hitter's ballpark. I mean, you get those foul territories with not a lot of room, give yourself another chance to get a swing, and it kind of makes up a little bit for those big power alleys out there.
At the high wall in right field. We were talking about this before the broadcast. I believe this is the smallest footprint of any major league stadium as far as how the stadium is encompassed around the downtown setting. Arcia sends one deep to right. Ball is hooking, and it is a fair ball home run. 3-run homer and a bomb out of here. Just like that, the Twins are on top.
Well, that's the thing that Marco always seems to get hurt by is the long ball. And it happens again. And no doubt, the only question is it going to stay fair. And a fastball in. Garcia knows he got it pretty good, able to hook it around that foul pole, and the Twins taking a 3-1 lead. Just like that.
Getting started with a walk, a single by Willingham, and Arcia hits the 18th home run of the year against Marco Estrada. That is going to be an area he's going to have to clean up. A swing and a miss by Trevor Plouffe.
See, those fastballs much more effective when he's ahead in the count. When he's down in the count, seems like every time he throws one that gets hit hard because they're looking for it. They can sit on it, and because of that, they're able to get the bat head out.
Plouffe chases another one.
Down in the count, a little bit different. They're protecting. They're thinking about change up, and that's when Marco can slip the fastball by these hitters.
Here's an 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, the Twins got a 3-run home run last night from Willingham. They get a 3-run shot tonight from Arcia. As Plouffe launches one, he'll watch that one go. And that is a foul ball. Boy, that was hit a ton as well. There's a lot of distance on those last 2 swings.
That was a changeup that he left inside, and watch where this one lands. That foul ball way back.
Man. Arcia thought it was back-to-back.
Got the mohawk going. That looked good on you.
And now here comes Gardenhire.
Well, you saw in the replay where the ball never did disappear behind that foul pole. You could see it clearly go by the yellow foul pole, which ordinarily means that it's a foul ball. If it disappears, you lose it for a split second behind the pole. It's fair.
Interesting here. They're going to challenge this, and Renicky comes out barking right away, and I don't blame him. I mean, there was some time that went by. You know, you're supposed to only have 30 seconds, and the pitcher was already back on the rubber.
Right.
You're supposed to not be able to challenge.
Yeah, Gardenhire just not in a very big hurry to get out there and gave himself a little bit extra time, and not sure that that's what it's all designed to do.
You're already supposed to move on to the next play when the pitcher is on the rubber, the batter gets in the box, but that's what Renicky's barking at. But they are going to go to a challenge here.
And what they're going to look at, they're going to look at the slow motion as the ball goes to the foul pole. Now, if it disappears behind the pole, it's a fair ball. If you never do lose sight of it and it goes across the foul pole and you still see it, it's a foul ball.
Now, remember that you can look at home runs. Remember the original replay in Major League Baseball a few years back was on home run balls, boundary balls. So this is not an official challenge. This is not Gardenhire asking or placing a challenge, forcing the umpires to look at it. They're just going to take a look. So I assume in this case, Rock, that it wouldn't matter whether Estrada was on the rubber or not, because it's a home run challenge.
Right.
And this rule has been in place for the last 3 years.
Well, maybe Gardenhire is asking to see if it just deflected off the foul pole. Does it? I don't know. I mean, if you could freeze frame the baseball when it's right in front of the pole, you'll be able to determine better if it's a fair or foul ball. I'm sure that that's the shot that they're looking for back in New York.
Well, Mark Wegner, and they're calling it a foul ball. So it's not a challenge. Gardenhire still has his challenge. That's just a home run review on a boundary ball. And it'll be a foul ball, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. I suppose if the umpires refuse to take a look at it, I'm not sure the ruling on that. We'll have to find out.
Don't have to do it.
Can a manager issue a challenge in that case on a boundary ball? I guess he could.
Yeah, I guess.
Plouffe strikes out. Estrada comes back after the delay and gets him for the second out.
I haven't seen that yet. That has not been an issue in any games the Brewers have been involved in.
.24 pitch inning for Estrada. He's given up 3 runs on 1 swing of the bat. Oswaldo Arcia, long home run to right field. And there's a shot. Weeks cannot make the play. A hot one just past him, and Suzuki is aboard with a single. And the 3rd hit of the inning.
Well, home run calls are subject to a review at the discretion of the crew chief. A manager can request a review but cannot challenge a home run call.
There you go. Good work, Rock. We're learning as we go as well.
Right. You just got to keep all the different situations that might arise. There's a lot that are not listed in what we've received over the course of the last couple of months as far as what is reviewable, what is not. But it's not a challenge. So it's not a challenge for Gardenhire.
So he still has one. Now Marco Estrada with a runner at first. 3 runs are in, 2 men are out, and here's Josmiel Pinto. A curveball in there for a strike. Marco was cruising along, had retired 8 straight. He walked Dozier to start the inning. Gave up a single to Willingham, then a 3-run homer to Arcia. Tied him up. Good fastball. 0-2 the count on Pinto. Pinto caught last night. The personal catcher of Samuel Deduno. Deduno pitched well last night with Pinto behind the plate. Got the win. Beat Gallardo last night. Deduno giving up 2 earned runs in 5 innings. Twins are only carrying 2 catchers, and they're both in the starting lineup tonight. Their emergency catcher is Eduardo Escobar, their starting shortstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That would be an emergency. They'd both have to get hurt.
Right. They're both in the lineup. May have to lose your DH in case of an emergency, but
that would be the least of their problems.
Right. Yeah, Ron Renicky never afraid to use both of his catchers in a game. He did it again last night. That's a foul tip into the mid of Lucroy and a strikeout. So Estrada finishes the inning with a couple of Ks, but a big swing of the bat by Oswaldo Arcia. 3-run shot. Twins now lead 3-1. Brewers now on top 3-1 on the Arcia 3-run home run. Our Southwest.com non-stoppable play. Ricky Weeks, a 2-out double, snuck it inside the bag at third. The next batter, Mark Reynolds, doubled into the gap in right center. Weeks scored the first run of the game, and Reynolds with RBI number 28. And now the Brewers will have to play catch up once again. Ron Renicky has spent a lot of time out there with the umpires. He's got some frustration brewing here, and it's possible that Renicky, sensing that he had asked the umpire to get help earlier in this game, he did not. When Gardenhire asked the umpire to get help, he did. So Renicky is stating his case.
Yeah, but once that home plate umpire calls a strike, that's it. I mean, it all depends on what he was arguing, whether he was arguing if it was tipped or if it was tipped and bounced. Who knows? But very often, or very unusual, when an umpire is going to make a call like that, then ask for help. Usually it's the other way around.
And every manager, when you get an opportunity and you feel like, you know, things are going one way or the other, and if he even senses that there's a discrepancy in respect, right, with the manager, with the opposing manager, you're going to start to make your voice heard.
And back up a little bit, right? Start getting a little bit irritated. I don't blame him.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Dozier is over, and over to first for the out. Nice play. The converted shortstop still has a good arm and takes care of Ricky Weeks. One away in the fifth.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat, Dozier playing a little bit up the middle and able to get to it. Boy, he's playing a pretty good second base. He's having an all-star season. That's a nice play.
Attaboy Doge, says his pitcher. Got to bring up Mark Reynolds. And Reynolds breaks his bat. Long run for Willingham, and he'll run it down. Made that catch in fair territory. That was a nice play by Willingham. And Reynolds is retired. 2 up and 2 down for Nolasco, and a couple of gems defensively.
Man, you see him playing pretty much straight away left field, and got a good jump. Not much speed for Willingham, but able to make the catch just inside fair territory.
And very little room to put the brakes on. That wall will put the brakes on for you.
Yeah, and it hurt too. A lot of guys go down and slide right there, or at least try to.
So 2 quick outs. Here is Overbay. Nolasco deals, and Overbay pulls it foul. Attaboy. Nice play. 1-2 the count on Overbay. He struck out his last time up. Nolasco has only pitched from the stretch to 2 hitters tonight. Little cue shot, and here's Escobar, and Overbay is retired. Got some sad news to pass along. Legendary Don Zimmer passed away today at the age of 83. One of the game's great personalities, former big league skipper. He will be missed. Don Zimmer, dead at the age of 83. Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Marshfield Clinic. Ready to play ball here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Twins now lead 3-1 as Oswaldo Arcia hits a 3-run homer off Marco Estrada in the 4th inning. Eduardo Escobar leads off, and a line drive base hit. And the hits are coming now, second time through the order for Minnesota. It's their 4th hit, second trip through the batting order. Yeah, reminder, you can catch every strikeout, every game ender, every history-making moment on MLB Whip Around. It's weeknights, 9 p.m. Central on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Runner at first, nobody out. Escobar at first with Santana coming up. And he shows bunt, fouls it off.
And be alive for a stolen base here. Escobar had pretty good speed. Almost like having 2 leadoff hitters. A couple of young kids, both switch hitters. Make something happen. Boy, when that number 9 hitter gets on, boy, the Twins are able to do a lot of different things offensively.
Well, Santana pegged to be the shortstop of the future for the Twins. Been pressed into center field duty this year. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Tough guy to double up. He runs well. And a little tapper. Marco hustles it over to first for the out. Works like a bunt, though. Escobar at second base in scoring position. And the muscle coming up for the Twins.
A little bit surprised that Escobar didn't try and steal a base. Twins don't run much except for Dozier.
Dozier has a stolen base tonight after his double in the first. Has not been retired. Has a double and a walk. He scored in the 4th on base for the 3-run homer by Arcia.
One thing you don't want to do is throw Dozier a high fastball. That's for sure. That's a pitch he loves. He's got a good eye at the plate. On base percentage at about .350.
Twins among the worst in baseball with runners in scoring position. And Estrada hits Dozier. He hit him earlier tonight when he was at first base on a pickoff attempt, and he drills him again. So Dozier reaches on a hit by pitch.
Yeah, trying to come inside that and got him right on the point of the shoulder. That's gonna hurt. One thing you get all muscle, but you get a little bit of the bone on that shoulder area. That's going to be tough to shake off. Fastball is only 89 miles an hour. He'll be all right.
And that'll bring up Joe Mauer. 2 on, 1 out. Twins threatening again. Mauer is 0 for 2. He grounded out his last time up. Flew out to right his first time up. Check out the impact. It's right below the back of the shoulder.
Yeah, that was a direct hit. That ball came right back to Marco. That's when you know they hurt. Not a glancing blow at all.
Two 2-0 to Mauer. And Marco Estrada starting to get into some dangerous territory here. With the heart of the order coming up, 2 on with 1 out. Marco was cruising through the first 3 innings. Second time through the batting order has been a different story, though. The Twins go 4 for 8 with a walk. Second time through the order. 3-0. Well, you wonder if Mauer has the green light here. Got Willingham, a hot hitter on deck.
I wouldn't be surprised. You gotta make this pitch as though he is swinging 3-0. Can't just pump one down the middle.
And he lost him. So Mauer walks on 4 straight, and now the base is loaded with 1 out. And Estrada is going to have to dig deep into his toolbox here with Josh Willingham coming up.
You got a guy that can ground into a double play, not very fast, but Marco doesn't get many ground ball outs. Nothing doing in that Brewers bullpen.
Willingham singled to left his last time up. Estrada got him to pop up to center field in the first inning. Bases loaded, full of Twins with 1 away, and the Twins lead 3-1.
Just can't find that changeup, can he?
And that is usually not a good sign for Estrada, who doesn't have the overpowering stuff with his other pitches. Fouls off a fastball.
Yeah, that's a pitch that Willingham would like to have back. He knew it was coming. He got the fastball at 89 miles an hour and fouled it straight back.
Inning started with a single. The 9-hole hitter Escobar got a line drive back up the middle. Dozier was hit by a pitch. Mauer walked on 4 straight. Bases loaded, 1 out. Estrada deals a 1-1 and a foul back. He was late on the fastball that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Willingham.
Yeah, when a guy's behind your fastball, that means maybe in the back of his mind he's thinking about that changeup. Let's see if Marco can put a changeup down in the strike zone, get a ground ball.
Didn't chase.
Yeah, he threw it. He put it right where he wanted it, but Willingham not biting. You see teams doing that more and more with that changeup from Marco down in the strike zone. Early in the season, he's getting a swing on that. But this Twins team very patient. They don't go out of the strike zone too often.
See what he does with him here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Willingham takes ball 3. Didn't miss by much.
Yeah, but he mentioned they take a lot. Where did it miss? Only Andy Fletcher knows for sure.
Every pitcher groans when they see that pitch not called a strike. Now Estrada, no place to put him. Going to be forced to bring one in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And that misses. Wow. Willingham walks with the bases loaded, and the Twins have a 4-1 lead. Marco put it right on the spot.
Yeah, how do you take it, first of all? I mean, you got the bases loaded, back-to-back pitches, and I guess if I'm a hitter and you don't get strikes called like that, why swing at them, right? You're not going to do much with it. I mean, how can you not call that a strike? What are you supposed to do?
And Andy Fletcher is
that's just
getting
terrible.
Worn out by Ron Renicky right now.
That's just terrible. I mean, you got to call strikes once in a while. You reward a guy for taking 2 pitches like that with the bases loaded.
Here's Arcia. Hit the 3-run homer his last time up.
There you go. He's calling a strike. He can do it.
Bouncing ball. Overbay coming to the plate, and the out there. So Overbay cuts down the lead runner.
And that's a long throw back there. He was playing back because Arcia is a pull hitter. And able to get it. Look how far behind the runner he is. Thinking about maybe going the other way on a double play, but just able to nip him at home plate. Getting Dozier.
Boy, what a scary position for Lucroy to be in. Dozier did the right thing. He went right after that foot, thinking maybe Lucroy might try to come off and throw to first, but fortunate Lucroy not injured there. So 2 outs. Estrada back in the windup. Trevor Plouffe at the plate. And there's strike 1. Plouffe is 0 for 2. He struck out last time. Bases loaded. The 1-1. Plouffe, a bouncing ball to third. Reynolds got to hurry. Scoops, throws. It's in time to get the out. And Marco Estrada avoids disaster in the 5th. The Twins do score, and it's 4-1.
Presented by Marshfield Clinic. It's a 4-1 Twins lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Time to check in with the crew in the community. Earlier this week, Brewers pitcher and tonight's starter Marco Estrada, president and CEO Doug Gordon, and staff of Waterstone Bank, along with Brewers Community Foundation, toured Sojourner Family Peace Center located in Milwaukee. Sojourner will receive the proceeds from this year's Case for Cause strikeout promotion. Sojourner Family Peace Center serves families that have been involved in domestic violence issues. You just saw Marco taking a picture there, and what a really good cause, and it's all K's for cause here, B.A.
All right, thanks a lot, Telly, as Logan Schaefer leads off for the Brewers. 4-1 Minnesota as we head to the 6th inning. Nolasco pitching well, the Twins' opening day starter. Nolasco had been struggling recently, but he's coming off one of his better starts of the season. His last time out, probably his best start, as a matter of fact. He had a game against the Royals in April where he went 8 innings and 1 run. He's coming off a 6-inning game against the Yankees with 1 run and got the win. And he has carried it over to tonight.
Yeah, he's been good at home. I mean, his record, only 1-2. This is his 5th home start, but a .321 earned run average. Much better at home than on the road. Not sure why that is. Giving up 10 home runs. It's a big ballpark. But he's gotten a fair amount of ground ball outs here today. Some things you just can't figure. I mean, there's no explanation for it, right? Why some pitchers get more runs in support than others. Why guys are better at home than on the road.
That discrepancy between home and road ERA is the 4th largest discrepancy in the big leagues right now. His teammate Kyle Gibson is number 2 on that list. Brewers beat Gibson on Monday. Schaefer pulls one to first. There is Joe Mauer for the out. The Brewers have just 2 hits. They came back-to-back in the 2nd inning, producing the only run of the game for Milwaukee as they go back to the top now. Gene Segura 0 for 2 against Nolasco. Segura now hitting .270. Thirteenth consecutive game hitting leadoff for Segura, and he's up over .330 as a leadoff hitter.
He's found a home, hadn't he? And for a guy that before he started to lead off said he didn't like it. The times he did it last year, wasn't a big fan, but I think he's changed that now. It's that breaking ball the Brewers just can't figure out tonight. I'd like to know how many of the sliders that he's thrown have actually been over the plate for strikes. Not many.
He's had the Brewers on the chase. It's always a big pitch in a count too, to either send it to 1-2 or 2-1. And Segura strikes out. 2 up and 2 down for Nolasco.
Hey, Miller Park, Friday the 13th is your lucky day. All fans in attendance to see the Brewers take on the Reds on Friday, June 13th. We'll get a Brewers retro t-shirt courtesy of Husco International. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com today.
2 gone for Ryan Braun. He's 0 for 2 tonight. A strikeout and a ground out. Full day of baseball today. The St. Louis Cardinals are in Kansas City tonight. Adam Wainwright is on the mound, and the Cardinals lead 1-0. Wainwright has a 1-hitter going. As they go to the 7th, as Braun out to center field, Santana is there, and Nolasco retires the side in order. 13 straight he's retired. Brewers trail 4-1 in Minneapolis. 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Twins are coming up. Estrada back on the mound. How about our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery? Overbay cutting down a potential run last inning. And with the Twins having bases loaded and only 1 out and only scoring 1 run, a small victory for Marco Estrada. And Overbay played a part in it.
Yeah, John and Luke were very fortunate on that play at home plate. I mean, you could see an Achilles heel getting ripped up, maybe an ankle sprain. Dozier came in there hard. It was a clean play. And Jonathan fortunate to be able to get out of there without injury.
Here's Kurt Suzuki to lead off. Estrada needs a quick inning here. It has been tough sledding for Marco the last 2 frames. He breezed through the first 3 innings, giving up just 1 hit. Retired the first 9 out of 10, I should say, and then things started to unravel for him a little bit. Gave up a 3-run homer in the 4th. Had 2 walks, a hit batter, and a hit last inning, and only allowed the 1 run. 4-1 Twins. Suzuki coming to Minnesota, signed as a free agent. He was with the Nationals last year, traded back to Oakland, which was his original club. Good defensive catcher, and he's been swinging the bat well this year. He's been hitting for a high average. Comes in batting .290.
Yeah, it's not something you expect out of Suzuki. You get, as you mentioned, he's always been considered a good, solid defender. Calls a good game, fundamentally sound behind home plate. He's starting to provide some offense.
Nationals traded for him in 2012 as they were trying to make the run to the playoffs. They made it to the postseason. There's a line drive foul. Suzuki is a career .255 hitter. Slow roller laid out of the box. Reynolds bare hands. The throw is up the line. Suzuki on his way to second. And it'll probably go as a base hit and an error. Reynolds probably should have just held on to that ball. Lead man aboard for the Twins again.
I've seen a lot of those swinging bunts from the Twins in this 4-game series. First 3 games anyway. Reynolds playing behind the bag, coming in hard, not able to put the throw on the money. Yeah, good throw, might be close, but you're right, he probably should have held on to it and keep the double play in order.
4th error of the year on Reynolds. It is an infield hit and an error. E5. And now Estrada back in the stretch as the Twins threaten again. 4-1 Minnesota. A bouncer to short. That's going to keep Suzuki at second base as Segura throws out Pinto for the first out of the inning. Time now for you to tweet us. Just tweet us your photo using hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. And it's brought to you by AT&T. One man out. Got Suzuki at second base for Eduardo Escobar, who singled and scored last inning. I always wonder what Escobar thinks about, what goes through his mind when he hears all the chatter about Danny Santana as the shortstop of the future. And then they tell him, by the way, you're the emergency catcher in case somebody gets hurt. Can't be a comfortable feeling as Escobar flies to Schaefer for out number 2.
Hey, fans, experience Brewers baseball like a VIP in one of Miller Park's 5 spectacular all-inclusive areas. Enjoy the game in style with exclusive amenities, a full buffet and complimentary beverages. Tickets start at just $48. Call 414-902-4777 or go to brewers.com/all-in.
2 outs. Suzuki still at second base. Top of the order now. Here's Danny Santana. Santana has hit for a high average this season. That's one of the main reasons why Gardenhire wanted him in the big leagues. They moved him to center field. It's a temporary move, but they're hoping to get his bat in the lineup. That ball's in the air to right. Braun going back, and he's got it for the out. Inning over. So Estrada comes back with a 0 in the 6th. It's 4-1 Twins. Brewers coming up. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. Wednesday night, downtown Minneapolis, where at Target Field the road trip begins tonight for the Brewers. It'll be 8 games on the road, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and then New York to play the Mets. Brewers are down 4-1 as we go to the 7th inning. Nolasco has been on top of his game tonight. He's retired the last 13 Brewer hitters. Brewers have 2 hits. They came back-to-back with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. Reynolds had the run-producing double. And nothing other than that. Nolasco with 6 strikeouts. Has not walked a batter. As Lucroy lines one to left. A base hit and a good way to start the 7th. Carlos Gomez coming up. He's one of the 3 in our Carsoup.com trivia tonight. We're asking you, the 3 that have played at least 200 games with the Brewers and the Twins. And Larry Heisel, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
Paul Molitor and Gomez, I think you could get. Larry Heisel still works for the Brewers organization. We see him all the time. Great ambassador out there in the community, doing great work. Just did an event with Larry at the SCORE event.
Yeah, talking about opposite field power, not too many better at hitting opposite field home runs than Big Larry. Hurt his shoulder. And no telling how many runs he could have driven in had he been healthy. You know, back in those days, you didn't have the surgical techniques to be able to get guys back on the field.
There's Gomez with a base hit. So back-to-back singles, and the Brewers are cooking up something here in the 7th. Lucroy Gomez with sharply hit balls.
Well, all of a sudden, Alaska is starting to hang that breaking pitch. He hadn't done too much of that coming into this inning. Every one of his sliders has been down and away, and the Brewers have been waving at him. And there was a hanger right there, and Carlos able to hit it hard into left.
And Velasco will face Aramis Ramirez. First game back from the DL. 0 for 2 tonight. By the way, here's a nice note from Mike Faulkner. Made the long trip from Milwaukee here. On this date, 1976, Larry Heisel hit for the cycle for the Twins against Baltimore. Huh? How did he even know that?
That's awesome, isn't it? That's great.
Diving into that Twins history. Ramirez sends one deep center field. Santana's back, and she's gone! 3-run homer. We are tied at 4.
Yeah, welcome back, Aramis Ramirez. Well, just like that, Velasco cruising along, and 3 consecutive hits. Ramirez goes deep, and we're all tied. That didn't take long. Fastball right down the middle of the plate. Ramirez knew it as soon as he made contact, and Santana runs out of room in center field. There's a way to make an impact. First game back.
Well, I guess. Aramis Ramirez with his 6th home run. After 3 weeks on the disabled list, he comes back with a bomb to tie this game. 3-run homer gives him 24 RBIs now in 35 games played.
How quickly it can turn around, huh? Velasco 13 straight. And in what, about 10 pitches? Brewers have a 4 spot on him.
Ricky Weeks takes a strike. Well, that ball had the sound. You hear a ball come off the bat like that, you know it struck well right in the barrel and to dead central.
About 405 out there. It's even though it's pretty deep out there, ball seems to be carrying pretty well. This is the kind of weather that you start seeing baseballs carry pretty well in the outfield, and I don't know how much help Ramirez needed on that home run.
Reason to smile as Weeks cuts and misses. Velasco strikes him out. That's number 7 for Ricky Velasco. Let's take it back to the swing of Aramis Ramirez.
They got ahead in the count. Velasco came right down the middle with a fastball, and look at the extension. Got it right on the sweet spot and right back in the center field for a big fly to tie the game.
Here's Mark Reynolds now with 1 away. It's another curveball that hung up there. He gets the strike call. Reynolds would love to see another one of those. Two 3-run homers today. Aramis Ramirez and Oswaldo Arcia.
And neither of them cheapies. They were some big home runs, both of them.
Reynolds off the glove of Plouffe. Escobar, the throw, not in time. Reynolds just backhanding one like a tennis backhand and able to get a hit out of it. Infield hit for Mark Reynolds, who sits at the top of the Powerball home run leaderboard. Carlos Gomez with 11, Braun and Davis with 9. Davis not in the starting lineup tonight, getting the day off. And now a chat.
Maybe biding some time. The Twins have double barrel action out in that bullpen. Things happen quickly. And it didn't take long for the Brewers to tie it up.
Matt Guerrier is the right-hander for the Twins. Rob Wooten is down there for the Brewers. Here's Overbay. And a strike. Got another lefty on deck in Logan Schaefer. All tied at 4, each club with 6 hits. Brewers have committed the only error. Overbay trying to keep the inning going in the 7th. With 1 man out. You think back though, Rock, to the 5th inning for Marco Estrada. Twins had the bases loaded, just 1 out. They're right in the heart of their order. And Marco was able to get out of that inning with just 1 run scoring.
And had to get 4 outs. Had Willingham struck out. Didn't get the call.
Overbay gets sawed off. I think the out at first is recorded, but Overbay, I think he's saying that it catches interference maybe.
I think it said it hit it off his foot. I think Ron Rennigan might lose it right here. He has not gotten a call yet. Let's see what happens here. I mean, the thing about that play, Overbay didn't run. I mean, ordinarily, if a hitter hits a ground ball, he's going to run right away. Lyle's saying it went right over his foot. So the umpires are going to get together.
Yeah, it definitely hit the pan. You can see the pants move.
Might have grazed his foot a little bit. And once again, it looks like Andy Fletcher's going to stick to his guns. And the thing about it is, I mean, Lyle Overbay swings the bat, he hits a ground ball. Why wouldn't you run unless it hits you somewhere?
Well, Fletcher asked for help. He asked the third base umpire. That would be the best view of it. And Renick's going to lose another argument. I thought the replay showed the ball hit the pant leg. You could see the movement of it.
Well, whether you can see it or not, I mean, the reaction of Lyle Overbay speaks volumes, because not rarely is a guy going to hit a baseball and not run, just stand there in the batter's box. Right here, Lyle's saying the ball hit me. So, well, nobody saw it.
So Overbay is out. And here's Logan Schaefer. At any rate, Reynolds ends up at second base. Brewers a chance to take the lead here. And Schaefer cuts and misses.
It's awfully tough to see.
And it's 0-2 on Schaefer. Just to take one more look. This is the one that shows it. The foul ball off the, watch the pant legs down there as it goes across. And you can see.
You can see why none of the umpires actually saw it, because it's just so.
Just grazed it.
It's just,
That's a tough call.
Right, it is. It's a tough call. But, the reaction of Overbay speaks volumes to me.
That skips away, not far enough for Reynolds to take the base. Good block back there by Suzuki.
Spikes a slider right off the corner of the plate, and Suzuki doing a good job just throwing his shoulder out there and able to keep it close.
Schaefer trying to pick up a big run. Brewers can take the lead with a base hit. Yeah, Schaefer takes one off the plate.
And so both sides being squeezed by Andy Fletcher.
And now he's hearing it from the Twins bench.
Right. It still amazes me that umpires just aren't actively seeking strikes. And Fox Tracks had it off the corner.
I don't blame Fletcher there. If he calls out with a strike, he might as well throw out every staff personnel the Brewers have.
Yeah, Brewers
coming out.
Every coach is going to have to get tossed.
Not picking on Andy, it's just the way the game's going.
Oh yes, you are.
Sometimes it goes that way.
Just admit it.
No, that was a ball. That was a good call. Good call, Andy.
You're something else. Leave it to me, don't you?
2-2 to Schaefer. And he pops him up left field. Willingham is under it, and that will retire the side. But the Brewers, with one swing of the bat, are right back in it. Welcome back, Aramis Ramirez. 3-run homer to tie it at 4. Alvarado. Good crowd on hand tonight. Having some fun here at Target Field. A lot of Brewers fans making the trip. Now it's a brand new ball game after the Aramis Ramirez 3-run homer. All tied at 4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Marco Estrada is out. 6 innings, 4 runs, all earned. And a no decision tonight. This one belongs to the bullpen. And it'll be Rob Wooten, first man out, as we go to the bottom of the 7th. He's got the heart of the order coming up.
Yeah, Wooten's been outstanding. I mean, starting to climb Ron Renick's list of important innings. That 19th appearance, a 3.00 earned run average. He's only allowed the 1 home run. He's had a terrific slider as of late. The slider's been his best pitch and has been able to get ahead in the count.
Rob Wooten will face Dozier, Joe Mauer, and then Josh Willingham to start at 2, 3, and 4 in the Twins lineup. Looking ahead to the Brewers' 8th inning, they'll have the top of the order coming up. Segura, Braun, and Lucroy. All tied at 4 as Wooten's first pitch. Dozier shows bunt, takes a ball. This guy's been a tough out in this series. Now 6 hits in the 3 games. Has not been retired tonight. He has doubled, he's walked, and he's been hit by a pitch. Scored a run as well. There's a strike from Wooten. Even Ron Gardenhire is surprised at the power of Dozier. He's got some wheels. Used to bunt a lot like he just showed there. He's, you know, not really thought of as a guy that would hit 20, 25 home runs. He's on a more significant pace than that right now.
Especially here. Pretty much a pull hitter, though. I mean, most of his hits in this series have been to center field or around to the left field line.
He hit 18 home runs last year, and they figured that was a bonus home run season, that he'd be a guy who'd hit, you know, 14, 16, 18 home runs a year, but never more than that. Starting to look like a 30 home run a year player. If he's off to this kind of start, playing in the cold weather venues, the big ballparks, and he's already hit 12 home runs, he's got a chance to do some major damage pops up here. Ryan Braun toward the line in fair territory. He's got it, and the first out.
And then there's that slider. It's a good pitch. Able to get him on a pop-up. Hey, tonight's Tower of the game winner. Little O's in Arkdale. Little O's in Arkdale. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Nice night for a Miller Lite. I'm a poet and don't know it.
Here's Joe Mauer. And Wooten deals him strike one. Yeah, great night here. Our sister network. I think we call it the sister network. It feels more like the parent network, the Fox Sports North headquarters here in Minneapolis. Always good to catch up with a lot of old friends, and the combining of the two networks, Fox Sports North and Fox Sports Wisconsin.
A lot of fun, but it could be a lot more fun if Blyleven was here.
Yeah. Nothing against Jack Morris by any stretch. I mean, it's a kind of a significant upgrade in a lot of areas.
Safety.
Exactly. You know, you don't feel like Jack Morris, who does the television analysis when Bert's away. There's Jack Morris. You're not worried that your shoe's going to be on fire at any point.
He's going to dump some popcorn on your head in the middle of an inning. Yeah.
Mauer to left. Schaefer right there for the out. 2 gone in the inning.
Yeah, Bert takes a vacation. Does about 100 games, and we didn't see him in Milwaukee. We won't see him here in Target Field. Very disappointing.
Retired number, the Hall of Fame member, Bert Blyleven.
Captain Hook.
Two outs for Josh Willingham. 4-4 game. Aramis Ramirez with a 3-run home run in the top of this inning to tie it.
The bases loaded walk. Plating run number 4.
So when Josh Willingham goes to the video after that at bat, like every hitter does, you think he says to himself, man, I've got a great eye.
Yeah, sure he is.
Or do you think, wow, I got lucky?
Denial.
That ball's hit hard right center field. That is way back. And it is high off the wall. Willingham into second with a double. And just about any other ballpark in the country, that is a home run.
Yeah, without a doubt. That ball was smoked into the gap. High off the wall out there. It's about the highest wall you're going to see with dimensions that deep. And that's a pretty good pitch. It might have been up a little bit, but it was away. And Willingham able to take it to the opposite field and nearly hit it out. Had he done that against Marco Estrada on a full count, he would have drove in 3 runs. Took the walk. Got an RBI, but there's your double. You'd rather have him do it now with 2 outs and nobody on.
And that's going to be the end of the line for Rob Wooten. With Arcia, the lefty, coming up. Renicki's going to go to the bullpen. Will Smith coming in. We'll set him up after this. out, and he'll face Oswaldo Arcia. Let's give you the game summary if you're just picking us up. The Brewers scored first. Mark Reynolds with a double following the week's double. It was 1-0 Brewers until Arcia hit a 3-run bomb off Estrada to give the Twins a 4-1 lead. But then in the 7th, Aramis Ramirez with 2 on. Another 3-run homer in this series, and just like that, this game was tied. And that's where we sit here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 4-4. Our Toyota game summary. And Renick's going to give the ball to Will Smith. He'll probably ask him to get 4 outs tonight. And he'll enter here in the 7th with 2 outs, and Arcia coming up.
Yeah, last pitched on Monday against these Twins, 2/3 of an inning. He got a double play ball from Eduardo Nunez to strand an inherited runner. And that's where Will Smith has been so good this year. Has only allowed 3 of 18 inherited runners to come across home plate.
$15 of 18. Inherited runners stranded. A big stat for a reliever, especially when it comes in the middle of innings. Willingham at second. First pitch to Arcia is a fastball in there. Backs him out. Arcia against left-handed pitching this season has 4 hits in 15 at-bats. .267 average there. 4 for 15. But the splits for Smith are overwhelming. Lefty's only hitting .121 against the Brewers' left-handed pitcher. He's only given up 4 hits this year. And he spins one in for a strike.
And those 2 breaking pitches that he has, the curveball and the slider. That was a curveball that time. Catches the inner half of the plate. That's not where you want to leave it, but it fooled him.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a fastball high. We were talking about, mental imagery with Estrada, how he thinks about pitching in a phone booth. Smith has one of those too. When he throws his curveball, he tries to imagine throwing it over a wall that's in front of him, kind of casting out that curveball over a wall and then driving down through it. That's how he imagines the breaking ball coming out of his hand. And there's the breaking ball, and it's a dandy. And it goes to 2-2.
Nice to be able to throw that pitch, identical to the first strike that he threw, and that was a 2-1 count. Arcia sitting fastball and decided to just finish the swing.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Willingham at second. Tie game. And a swing and a base hit to right. Braun coming in. Willingham coming home. Throw to the plate all the way in is late. The runner collided with Smith, so it would have counted anyway. And the Twins have taken the lead. 2 strike, 2 out. Base hit by Arcia.
Man, you don't see that very often. Will Smith giving up a run. That'll be a Rob Wooten run. There's a breaking pitch. I'm pretty good at bat by Arcia, in all honesty. He looked real bad on that curveball before. Will Smith left that one up. And just for good measure, Will Smith knocking down Josh Willingham. Would have scored anyway.
And that throw by Braun allows Arcia to go to second base. Another runner in scoring position. Here is Trevor Plouffe. The Twins regain the lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch, curveball, strike. Close the book on Rob Wooten. 2/3 of an inning, a run on a hit. What a night for Oswaldo Arcia. 4 runs driven in tonight on 2 hits. And there's a base hit. Here comes Arcia around third, and Braun would not make the throw this time, and the Twins have a 2-run lead.
Well, the bad throw by Braun cost the Brewers an extra run. hit the cutoff man. You keep the runner at first base. So a run allowed for Will Smith. That's like Haley's Comet right here. And not a bad pitch by him. A fastball away. Plouffe goes right with it into right field.
It's only the second earned run allowed all season by Will Smith. Twins get back-to-back hits against him. And now it's 6-4 Minnesota. 3 straight hits for the Twins, and all of this with 2 outs. They had 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Kurt Suzuki, who is 2 out of 3 tonight. Drops that curveball in for a strike. The Brewers will have the top of the order coming up in the 8th. And find themselves trailing again after coming back from down 4-1. Now 6-4 Twins. A 2-out rally started by Josh Willingham, who doubled off the right center field fence.
And now you figure Will Smith's not going to be able to come out and pitch the 8th. Big high pitch count for him. 11 pitches. And Ron Rennick was hoping for maybe 2 or 3 at most. Not the way he mapped this inning out.
Hoping for a quick out to get out of the inning. And then have him back out there for the 8th. There's a bouncing ball. Segura will shovel it over to Weeks to end the inning. But the Twins come up with some 2-out magic. 3 straight hits. They score twice, and the Brewers are down a pair. The 8th inning, and some changes for the Twins. Aaron Hicks will come on to play center field. Gardenhire upgrades defensively. Santana is out, and the new pitcher is Casey Fiend, who we saw last night. Worked an inning, gave up a run on 2 hits. 26th appearance of the year. He's been good for the Twins this year.
Overall, very good numbers. A 225 earned run average. Has not allowed a home run this year, and only allowing opponents to hit 195 against them. Only 4 walks, 15 punch outs in 24 innings. We saw him last night. Sinker slider for the big tall right-hander.
Top of the order coming up. Segura, Braun, and Lucroy. The Brewers down 2. Came back from 3 down last inning on the 3-run homer by Aramis Ramirez. Ricky Nolasco goes 7 innings, 4 earned runs allowed. He's in line for the win. It would be back-to-back wins for Nolasco. And strike 1 to Segura. Segura tonight is 0 for 3. Had a tough time with the breaking ball of Nolasco. Kloof expecting Segura to bunt.
Yes, he is, in on the grass. Open up a big hole if he can pull one down the line down there.
Last night, Fiend threw 23 pitches. Minnesota used 4 relievers to get to the finish line last night. Perkins got the save, his 15th. But the Brewers were able to score some runs off their late inning relievers in Fiend and Perkins. Third game of this 4-game series as Segura waves at it. And that'll be in the seats. 1 and 2, the count remains. Milwaukee won the opener of this border battle on Monday. Twins won last night. 1 more to play tomorrow. Segura spoils another one.
Little contest in styles for these Twins hitters tomorrow. They're going to have to be facing Willie Peralta. Peralta against Kevin Correa tomorrow. Correa with an earned run average around 6. Of course, Nolasco had an earned run average around 6, so it doesn't mean much.
1 and 2, and Segura chops one over to short, backhanded by Escobar, and a good play to get the speedy Segura for the first out. Well, our Miller Lite What's on Tap finale of this border battle. Willie Peralta 4 and 5 this year, an ERA at 2.73, coming off his worst start of the season. He's looking for a bounce back. Kevin Correa has just 2 wins, an ERA at 5.87. 6:30 is airtime for Brewers Live. Jeff Grayson and Davey Nelson live from Target Field tomorrow.
They're really due for a win. He hasn't won in his last 5 starts, but has pulled an ERA just a little bit over 3.5. Not too bad for him.
Ryan Braun with 1 away. He's looking for his first hit of the night. He's 0 for 3. And Braun pops it up. Joe Mauer will make the call. And the catch. Out number 2. 2 up and 2 down for Casey Fiend. And here comes Lucroy. His night at the plate, presented by Wendy's. He started the rally in the 7th inning. Had a leadoff single. Brewers got 3 consecutive hits in that 7th inning. 4 total. Lucroy and Gomez with singles, and then Ramirez hit the 3-run homer to center field. A short-lived lead, however, as the Twins get 2 right away in the bottom of the inning.
Hey, look, it was going to be an easy inning for Rob Wooten. Didn't it turn out that way, did it? Boy, 2 outs, nobody on, 3 hits. And the Brewers have to play from behind once again.
Wooten on the hook for the loss now. Gave up 1 of those earned runs. Smith gave up the other. Well, Will Smith's been picking up the Brewers all season long. Be a good time to get the bats going here late and pick up the left-hander. I didn't figure he was going to go the whole season and only give up 1 earned run. He doubled his earned runs tonight.
Yeah, that's how good he's been. I mean, he set the bar so high for himself. Even when he gives up a hit or allows a base runner, you're surprised. Back-to-back hits. Both scoring runs.
Now Lucroy works it to a 3-1 count. Well, he'd love to get a base runner here, get Gomez to the plate. Lucroy back in the 3-hole tonight. And there's ball 4. So a 2-out walk. And the tying run will come up. The former Twin, Carlos Gomez.
Let's see if the Brewers can turn the favor. 2 outs, nobody on. See if Go-Go can get into one here.
Had a nice chat today. Telly sat down with Carlos Gomez before the game. Spent 2 years with the Twins, 08 and 09. Helped him get to the postseason. Carlos was traded to Milwaukee prior to the 2010 season. That was a deal, a straight up deal for J.J. Hardy in the offseason between 09 and 2010. Milwaukee trading a very popular figure in J.J. Hardy to make room for Alcides Escobar. Got Gomez in return. What a player he's turned out to be.
Yeah, it turned out to be a good deal for Milwaukee for sure.
Big swing by Gomez. 1-2 the count.
93 up in his zone. Oh, Carlos trying to tie it up.
Got a 2-out base runner in Lucroy. Aramis Ramirez on deck. Casey Fiend delivers. And Gomez just got a piece. That was in and out of the glove of Suzuki. Defensive swing by Gomez. Here's a 1-2, and Gomez strikes out. And Fiend is fired up on the way to the dugout. So Lucroy left stranded. And we go to the bottom of the 8th with the Twins up 6-4.
6-2. Twins last night 6-4. That's the score right now. Jeff Grayson along with Davey Nelson here at Target Field getting you ready for Brewers Live. Brewers still with some work to do, Davey, but great to see Aramis Ramirez back. Right back how he was.
Well, that's right. You know, he's been swinging the bat pretty good and then got that 1-0 fastball and drove it to center field for a big 3-run homer.
We'll talk about Aramis' night as well as Marco Estrada's. Also an interesting one for Ron Renneke, getting a lot of walking in tonight. We'll hear from the Brewers manager, all that and more, and look ahead to tomorrow on Brewers Live from Target Field. Now let's go back up to the booth. B.A. and Rock. Guys?
All right, Jeff and Davey, thank you. Look forward to Brewers Live post-game coming up. Bottom of the 8th here at Target Field in downtown Minneapolis. And the Brewers down a pair. It'll be Zach Duke out of the Milwaukee bullpen.
They finished the game on Monday. The Brewers' victory against the Twins struck out Joe Mauer to end it. His numbers overall, 30 strikeouts for Duke in 23 innings of work. And a 3-0 record, looking to go 4-0 here tonight.
Twins with 2 in the bottom of the 7th, both coming with 2 outs. Looking ahead to the Milwaukee 9th, Ramirez will lead off as Pinto sends one deep and foul. Ramirez, Weeks, and Reynolds coming up for the Brewers in the 9th inning. Twins closer Glenn Perkins, the most likely candidate. Notched his 15th save last night, the hard-throwing left-hander. Cardinals are leading Kansas City tonight 2-0. Adam Wainwright in line for the win there. Brewers have a 5-game lead over St. Louis in the National League Central. Cincinnati lost to the Giants tonight. San Francisco just keeps it rolling. The Giants beat the Reds tonight 3-2. San Francisco now 17 games over 500. 38-21. Best record in the big leagues. The Pirates lost in San Diego tonight. Padres beat them 3-2. So the Reds and the Pirates lose. The Cardinals are winning late. Two balls, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss. Actually foul tipped it into the bit of Lucroy. A strikeout for Zach Duke. Well, as promised earlier in the broadcast, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. And tonight it comes from Chris, who's got Bernie in his photo. Don't forget to use the hashtag WisFanPhoto for your chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. One gone for Zach Duke. Here is Escobar. In the right, slicing, and that'll end up in the seats. Rock, that game I was talking about, the Padres Pirates game. San Diego won that game 3-2. They had 1 hit. They drew 9 walks against the Pirates. The Brewers' next opponent, the Pittsburgh Pirates, on Friday at PNC Park.
Yeah, 10 base runners. That's pretty good. I mean, no matter how you get them, right? 1 hit. Pirates have been somewhat hot before today. Had won 3 in a row. Creeping toward that 300 mark, or I should say the 500 mark. Now 29 and I should say 28-31.
Two and 2 on Escobar. See where that pitch was. Lucroy setting up inside.
I mean, you know, You get tired of talking about the strike zone after a while. Kind of ruins the game.
It's a foul back.
It is what it is. I mean, he's tired of beating a dead horse here.
I saw that Renicky was yelling out to Lucroy, is that a strike? That's got to be an awkward feeling for a catcher sitting in front of an umpire. In earshot. There's a swing and a miss, so he gets his man. Duke with a strikeout. 2 up and 2 down.
Hey, with the Brewers Baseball Academy presented by Quick Trip, your child receives over 30 hours of professional instruction. Plus, meet a Brewers player, get a full uniform, 4 game tickets, and a VIP trip to Miller Park. Reserve your spot today at brewers.com/camps.
Two gone. Top of the order, Aaron Hicks came in for defensive purposes. He's been a switch hitter. This would be a more comfortable at bat for him with a left-hander on the mound. He stopped switch hitting last week. He's exclusively a right-handed batter now. And there has been some talk that when Sam Fuld returns, Fuld's been out with a concussion. I think he's due to go on a minor league rehab Friday. We saw him at the ballpark working out today. Talk is that Hicks would go back to the minor leagues and then start to work on his hitting as a right-handed batter versus right-handed pitching. He's never had to hit with breaking balls going away from him.
That is a big adjustment. Switch hitting, everything coming into you.
The Twins have high hopes for Hicks, but he has struggled to make the adjustment to big league pitching. Twins have one of the great minor league prospects in the game in Byron Buxton, and they're hoping he'll be the center fielder of the future, but he's in single A. He's actually injured right now. Twins also have a great prospect, a third base prospect, in Danny Sano. Miguel Sano, I should say. So they've got this great minor league system, the Twins do, and Gardenhire's trying to patch the holes in the big leagues until some of these top prospects become available to him.
And he's got his future shortstop in center field who he takes out late in games. Interesting way to go about developing a young player.
The psyche is a very tricky thing, and Gardenhire probably spending a lot of time as a psychologist right now. I mean, if you're Danny Santana, you're good with being in the big leagues. You'll play center field. I mean, he doesn't want to play shortstop in AAA when he could play center field in the major leagues.
I've seen him make a number of mistakes. I mean, then you go into your confidence thing, and how is he going to be when they put him back at shortstop? How much of his skills are going to be gone?
Ball 4 to Hicks.
And you can't play you can't play outfield for 2 years and all of a sudden pick up shortstop like you did, when you were in the minor league. It's going to take a while for him to get back at it, if in fact that's going to be the case. I can't imagine him thinking about doing that.
And if he's that good of a shortstop, why not play him at short? Move Escobar to center field. I mean, if you're going to have somebody out in center field.
Right. If he's your shortstop of the future. Right. That's the big debate.
Yeah.
It's Ron Gardenhire's call at this point.
He has his reasons. Brian Dozier with Hicks at first. Not the guy you wanted to face. Twins lead 6-4. Bottom of the 8th.
Well, Zach Duke's going to work him away. Let's see if Dozier can handle a pitch away. He's been hammering pitches up in the zone, pitches in. Almost everything he's hit in this series has been into center field and to left.
Dozier lines one left field, a base hit. Man, this guy's a tough out. His 4th trip on base tonight. 2 more hits tonight, gives him 7 in this series. And it'll be Joe Mauer now with 2 on and 2 out.
It has been often the Brewers have got getting ahead in the count on Dozier, and you could see even on a pitch middle away, he's looking to hook it. I mean, getting the bat head out, you get ahead of him, you make him, chase on the outer half of the plate. That's how you get this guy out. He pulls everything.
So here is Mauer. 0 for 3 with a walk. Brewers can ill afford to give up any more runs. Will be tough enough down 2. Is Mauer a shot? Oh, what a play! Segura to first in time. How about it? Gene Segura, full extension on a rocket off the bat of Mauer. And if the Brewers are able to come back tonight, this will be the one. You'll see it everywhere. Gene Segura with a fantastic play to win the inning. By Marshfield Clinic. Under the lights on a Wednesday night. To the 9th we go. What a play by Gene Segura. Tough to do it any better than the Brewers shortstop to rob Mauer of a base hit and an RBI.
And no doubt we've seen this from Segura time and time again. Look at the full out stretch. Realized he couldn't get the guy at second base, and it's the throw to get Mauer. But how about that? That ball was by him, able to snare in the webbing and get the out.
Gives the Brewers a chance here in the 9th inning. They're down 2. Minnesota's closer is on, Glenn Perkins, who saved the game yesterday. Ramirez hit a 3-run homer in the 7th to tie it. And that ball's in the air to right, playable for Arcia. And Perkins retires Aramis Ramirez. Well, Ramirez returning from the disabled list. He's in our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. This was the home run that tied the game.
Yeah, right down the middle of the plate, and Ramirez didn't miss it, way back in center to knock in 3 and tie the game at that point. That tie game didn't last long.
Yeah, the Twins scored 2 the very next half inning in the bottom of the 7th. So Ramirez in his return, 1 out of 4. Brewers down to their last 2 outs, down 2. Here's Ricky Weeks.
Yeah, Perkins had 36 saves last year and 40 opportunities, and tied for second in the American League in saves with 15 this year. So he's been very effective. 15 out of 17. Walked the first 2 batters in last night's ball game, but was able to save it.
Chopper, what a play. Perkins takes a hit away from Weeks. That looked like it was headed for center field. fielding his position well, and the Brewers are down to their last out.
You see him in pretty good position to field and able to jump up and grab it and get the out. Two-way squares his shoulders, doesn't fall off toward third base, and that's why he was able to make that play. Of course, Dozier was waiting for it right behind him.
On the look at the replay, he was positioned to make that play regardless. So 2 gone. Here's Mark Reynolds. Reynolds trying to get Chris Davis to the plate. Davis will pinch hit for Overbay next. And Reynolds is trying to get him there to represent the tying run. Reynolds has 2 hits tonight. Drove in a run in the second inning, had an RBI double. Gave the Brewers the first lead of the game. And it's 0-2, and Milwaukee down to their last strike. Don't forget, Brewers Live coming up. Jeff Grayson, Davey Nelson on location here at Target Field. And that's it. Perkins saves another one. Twins win 6-4. Getting to the Brewers bullpen, which you haven't seen a lot of this year. Arcia with a big night. 4 runs batted in, has a couple of hits, and now the Brewers down to their last matchup with the Twins tomorrow to try to earn a split this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Twins have given the Brewers problems over the years. You know, they won the game on Monday, and before that, the Twins had won 5 in a row, so they won 6 or 7 in the last